the AfCFTA implementation, investment opportunities for fintech and infrastructure. To take us through this is Mr. Olusegun Awolowo, but represented at this occasion or this morning by Mr. Olusegun Olutayo, Senior International Trade Policy and Law Expert, Nigeria, for AfCFTA, and he handles the coordinator's office. So please can we invite him with a very resounding applause as he takes us through this very important presentation. Please put pen to paper so that at the end of it all, you would leave here having made some very great gains for yourself and for your investment opportunities. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much, the Director of Program. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please, you permit me to, some will say sit, some will say stand. I think my very good sister Aisha will pardon me. Either we are sitting on it or we are standing on the existing protocols so that we can have a good dive into the paper that we have. As it has been rightly said, I am standing here to represent my principal, Mr. Olusegun Awolowo. Interestingly, I'm also Olusegun, but mine is Olutayo. Now, first and foremost is to bring greetings from him and to the entire team of this great event. Now, I'll go by a speech and paper presented for this great event. Protocols. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to address this distinguished gathering at the Aquarium Consort Afro-Caribbean Investment Summit. Let me first extend my deepest appreciation to the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew, and his full delegation. Your presence here today signifies the growing collaboration between Africa and the Caribbean. And I commend Aquarium Consort and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis for this strategic partnership that foster deeper investment ties. The African Continental Free Trade Area, with its 8th protocol, is a game changer not only for Africa, but also for the Caribbean and broader global south. As far back as 1964 May, one of the great leaders of Africa, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, intoned about the poor intra-African trade, as at that time, it was 10%, going by a speech at the Organization of African Unity. When you fast forward that story, today, whatever literature you carry, you will be reading intra-African trade is less than 20%. Then when you do a small arithmetic, from 1964 to 2005, that is over 60 years. Meaning, intra-African trade only grew by whether it's 8% or 9%, depending on the literature that you carry. I do not think that is a cheering news. Hence, that is why AfCFTA is here for us to embrace and, of course, push intra-African trade beyond the sorry state that it is today. This agreement, the largest free trade area in the world by number of participating countries, is said to unlock immense economic potential, foster industrialization, and create investment frontier. It is in this spirit that Nigeria has continued to demonstrate strong leadership in the implementation of AfCFTA, culminating in the establishment of the Nigerian AfCFTA Coordination Office, a transition from a committee to an office. Approved by His Excellency, our dear President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, pursuant to the 31st Ordinary Session of African Union Assemblies of Heads of State. This transition ensures Nigeria is better positioned to drive the full implementation of AfCFTA and attract critical investment. Investment opportunity in fintech and infrastructure. Today, I wish to highlight 3 critical investment opportunities within the AfCFTA framework, particularly in fintech and infrastructure. Sectors that are pivotal to the success of intra-African trade and economic transformation. 1. Digital payment and financial inclusion. The AfCFTA Digital Trade Protocol that was adopted last year, February, by the heads of state of assembly create an enabling environment for cross-border digital payment and financial services. With over 600 million unbanked Africans, I repeat, with over 600 million unbanked Africans, fintech companies can leverage mobile banking, blockchain technology, and decentralized finance to drive financial inclusion. Investors have a chance to build a scalable, interoperable digital payment system that facilitates seamless transaction across the continent. And at this junction, it is good to give credit to what AfCFTA and that of the Secretariat in Ghana has been able to put together, and that is Pan-African Payment Settlement System. Please, a round of applause for AfCFTA and Secretariat in Ghana. 2, e-commerce and SME financing. The rise of digital trade platform under AfCFTA increased e-commerce penetration. However, SME, the backbone of African economy, face financial constraint. Venture capital, digital lending platform, and AI-driven credit scoring models are viable investment area to empower our people, to empower the small businesses, to empower that African woman that is looking for that financial opportunity. 3rd, cybersecurity and digital identity verification. With increased digital trade, data security, digital identity authentication will be paramount. Investment in AI-powered cybersecurity solutions, biometric verification, blockchain-based identity system will ensure secure trade transaction under AfCFTA digital trade framework. Beyond fintech, the most urgent investment need lies in infrastructure, especially in transportation and logistics. Beautifully, the AfCFTA Trade in Services Protocol, liberalizing 5 of this sector, has given us one of these as a very critical sector that is needed within the context of AfCFTA implementation. To support the movement of goods across Africa, vast, diverse, and landmark, the AfCFTA Secretariat estimates that Africa requires 1, 2 million trucks for intra-African trade logistics. 2 million trucks for intra-African trade logistics. We are always prone to begin to talk about challenges. But the question is this: should we be defined by challenges or having solution to those challenges and, of course, prospering our people? Secondly, over 100,000 rail wagons to enhance rail transport. That is a massive investment opportunity. 3, 250 aircraft to boost regional air connectivity. We all know the challenges that we are facing when it comes to connectivity within the context of Africa. These are opportunities. 250 aircraft are required. 4, over 100 shipping vessels to improve maritime trade routes. I gave you a practical example. I was a witness of this. The very first shipment, or call it consignment, that moves from Nigeria to Kenya under the AfCFTA preferential trade agreement. We follow it from day one that shipment left the shore of Nigeria and arriving in Mombasa, Kenya. Guess what? It takes over 50 days. That is not a cheering news. He went to Singapore and then to Indonesia and then come back to Pakistan and then arrive in Mombasa. These are big opportunity for the like minds to come together and begin to see how this will be reduced. There are a lot, these are not just statistics. They represent real investment opportunity that can drive economic growth, enhance efficiency, and reduce the cost of doing business in Africa. Because that is also critical in the overall landscape of AfCFTA. Strategic partnership between African and Caribbean investors in this area will be transformative indeed. Commendation for bold reform under the Renew Hope agenda of our dear President. Nigeria's commitment to economic transformation is further strengthened under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renew Hope agenda. His administration has undertaken bold reforms and aimed at creating an investor-friendly business environment, including unifying the exchange rate, making Nigeria more competitive in global market, eliminating fuel subsidies, freeing resources for infrastructure investment, deepening trade facilitation initiative, ensuring Nigeria maximizes AfCFTA benefit. This reform provides solid foundation for long-term investment in Nigeria and across Africa. Recommendation for tangible results from this summit. To ensure the summit delivers concrete, actionable outcomes, I propose 2 key recommendations. 1, establishment of Afro-Caribbean Investment Task Force, a dedicated task force that should be created to explore joint venture projects in fintech and infrastructure, facilitating knowledge transfer, financing mechanism, and regulatory harmonization between both regions. 2, investment pipeline and financing hub. A structured mechanism should be established to identify, prioritize, and finance high-impact projects, particularly in transportation, logistics, and digital trade. Leveraging AfCFTA framework, a dedicated fund could be set up to support African and Caribbean entrepreneurs in this sector. As I bring this speech to a close, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we stand at a pivotal moment. AfCFTA is not just a trade agreement. It is an economic transformation blueprint. The opportunity before us are immense, and it is through collaboration, bold investment decisions, and strategic policy execution that we unlock the full potential of this agreement. Among all other things, this AfCFTA agreement has given us a legal framework. We talk about challenges, but we say AfCFTA has come and it has given us, at least at the minimum, a legal framework that we can all ride on. Take, for example, one of the protocols speaks to intellectual property rights. Today, if I have a patent in Nigeria, do I have a guarantee that the same patent is protected in South Africa? Is it protected in Kenya? But this is what AfCFTA has given to us. Are we there yet? The answer is no. Are we making progress? The answer is a resounding yes. Let this summit mark the beginning of a new era of African-Caribbean economic partnership, one defined by investment, innovation, and sheer prosperity. In my words, all African needs for Africa is in Africa. Thank you, Olusegun Awolowo.